Day 0 of this 30-day soul recovery journey. Is my goal and intention just to jump on a video log and share my insights and my heart, to be completely vulnerable, to learn from this journey, and to also stay accountable. So cheers to that. Before I move on, who am I? Why am I doing this? My name is Mitchell Villani. I am a healing facilitator, an iridologist, and a detoxification specialist. But probably that is the main reason why I'm doing this, is because I'm much more than that, and I have lost my way and have created that as my identity. And I've lost myself, and I've lost passion for this work deeply, because I find it very elementary. Like, I find it's very easy. I know how to one person can improve their life, but why don't we do it? And I think a lot of people know how to improve their life. Why aren't we doing it? And I truly believe that we are operating in this society in a deep, deep, deep spirit of fear. Now, that's the way I'm seeing it. I'm definitely operating in that. And, I'm just over that. I'm really over it. And I just feel like this is a time that God has called me to step into this place of a dopamine detox, and to use this intentional plan that I have worked with over the past couple of weeks with God, to recover, to reclaim, to renew, to regulate, and to reestablish what it is to be me, to reestablish the true identity of who I am. Because, I think once one projects themselves as this person, you also create in your mind that, you can't fuck up and you can't be in a bad place and you shouldn't be here. And I've been going through a really deep, dark night of the soul for a month, I reckon, or even longer, where I've been feeling deep depression, massive anxiety, and even to the point of suicidal inclinations. And because I'm feeling this pain and operate and all being born from fear, I've been finding old and new coping mechanisms and addictions to numb that pain, to tone down this fear response, to regulate myself, and not hugely, but definitely with weed, with distractions of social media and entertainment. And sadly, one thing, addiction that I really thought I had overcome was pornography. And that's come back into my circle, which I have so much shame and guilt about. But the deeper I've done a lot of learning on the nervous system and addictions and coping mechanisms, I've been able to bring compassion into this space and just understand why it's there. We all have our poisons that we engage in. We all have our addictions. Many people are food and thoughts. But I think we are all feeling that, and I definitely am. And so I was just over this. And so what I did was I reattempted to, because I've healed myself of chronic nerve pain, through protruding discs in my neck, naturally self-healed. And I did that through, really engaging with gurus and understanding the body and cleansing my major organs, really finding ways to detox and do fasting and things of this nature. Many things, herbal protocols, things of this stuff like this, and really understanding the principles of health and aligning myself to nature as much as possible. And I healed. And so I was like, all right, I'll go do that. And I started doing it, and I felt really drained from it. Nothing was working. So I was like, well, what was another time in my life that I overcame depression? And that was through renewing my mind, through reading good things, through watching good things, through listening to really uplifting and positive affirmations and good teachings. So I was doing that, and I just couldn't overcome this this feeling of death within me. And I know that sounds weird, but that's how it felt. I felt like I was dying. I was losing me, and I didn't know how to overcome this anymore. I felt weak. I felt confused. I was living in fear. And I just started feeling such pain that I just felt God knocking on my heart and be like, hey, it's time. It's time to surrender. Because I was also going into other practices of Tantra work and breath work and, all these other things, not a huge amount, but like seeing therapies and other types of methods, and that wasn't working either. It felt like work and felt formulated. And so that's when I felt the knocking on my heart, and God's like, okay, it really spoke to me and reminded me of like, you didn't heal chronic nerve pain from doing all these things. He reminded me of where the healing began, and that was in the depth of another dark night of the soul, being in chronic nerve pain for 3.5 years. You just get over it, right? And I just almost gave up there at one point, and that's when God really came in, because I surrendered to God. I was like, I can't do this on my own, not in my strength. I'm ready to end it. So unless you want me to live and keep going, like, help me. So I surrendered. He helped me get out of the victimhood mentality and really instilled the victor in me, really instilled who I am and that I'm loved and that I'm powerful and I'm strong, and remind me all the gifts I had. And that's when this energy started to come back. And because I had this energy, then he guided me with that energy to health gurus to really help heal my body. But I forgot this part, the essence of where the healing began. And I just missed that part of me. Because I don't think people want to hear that, especially from me. But it's where I have the most deepest connections with people, when I start opening my heart to this. And it's also where I see a lot of people healing when I guide them through this and speak to them and pray with them. And I want to really bring that loving heart of service back to my workplace, back into every area of my life. I want to be identified as a person who loves God and loves Jesus, because that's who I am. I want to become this unapologetic Christian, not jamming it down anyone's throat, but just living it out for me. So God's brought me back into that space, and I'm truly grateful. But I'm terrified at the same time, because it's reducing, I think because we're living in such fear, and it's also a spirit. That's something else God put in my heart. Fear is a spirit. I've done a lot of readings and understanding from David Hawkins and the emotional scale of consciousness, and let it be, let it go. And these emotions are energy in motion, but these emotions are also spirits, energy in motion. These spirits are in motion. And this is, fear operating at 100 hertz is a very low one. And this is where God reminded me that this is spirit, because in his word, he says, I have not given you a spirit of fear, but one of power, love, and a sound mind. And the greatest of these is love. And I was like, oh, spirits of fear. I've been operating in a spirit of fear in a lot of places. And that's why I'm not seeing my life to the fruition I deep down know it can be. So, yeah, my goal right now, these next 30 days, is to remove distraction, and desires and goals and other things, and just have this next focus for 30 days is just me and God. Removing the desire of wanting to be in romance, removing the desire to earn certain amount of money, removing the desire to work. So I'm having a break from work. And the only goal for these next 30 days is to connect deeply with God and recover my soul. So yeah, this is it for me. And I guess I'm going to finish off this quote here that I've written down. It was from a Japanese Zen Buddhist. The ordinary man has no strength of faith and does not know the persistence of even 3 or 5 years. But those who study the way are absolutely diligent for 10 to 20 years, 24 hours of the day. I know me personally, I've become ordinary and lost a lot of strength in my faith by pursuing fleshly desires, by pursuing the world. So the goal over these 30 days is to study the way again and to recover my soul. And that's it. So thanks for watching and thanks for following.